Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the third game of the evening. We're slightly behind schedule, and that's all due to the fact of Shusi and Mate's exciting and long game. Now we have Arneej versus Vortex, which of course will be followed by Nara versus Sector 1 Bubblebox as the last game of the evening. But first we have to focus on this one. MJ, how are you feeling it? What do you think? Who will win?
Oh, those are three questions at once. I don't know if I can do that. But what I can do is telling you what the classes are that these two players are going to play, and from that I might be able to deduce who's going to win. So Vortex is going to play Druid Paladin Mage, where his Warrior is banned, and Arneej is going to play Druid Paladin Warrior, where his Mage is banned. So almost a mirror lineup, but they decided to ban to ban something else, which is interesting to me. Because why would you ban Warrior if you're afraid of aggro? Why would you ban Mage if you are afraid of... If you are control, I guess. But Vortex is definitely playing aggro. And Arneej is also playing aggro. This is going to be fun.
Yes, and I always love that feeling that comes inside me when there's a gentle megastar. Murloc's gonna happen everywhere, and Murlocs are my favorite creature in Hearthstone, or at least kind of card.
I was like, your favorite creature overall?
No.
No women for you, only Murlocs.
Yes, it's the only thing I want in life. And actually, wow, Arneej.
Interesting. Vortex is not playing a Hungry Crab. At least I think he's playing them, but he doesn't have them in his hand, which is of course very unfavorable for him. On the other hand, he has Innervate, which is very good for him.
Yes, and we see the first Murloc being put on board by Arneej. He's waiting to end the turn just to PM, or maybe he just misclicked and forgot. No, he does.
That Hungry Crab. That's not a Hungry Crab. Do you just go all out? Like, do you play everything?
Or almost fire everything?
You can't play everything.
I mean, you don't have a beast.
No, that's true.
And
but you could.
Like, are you
what's he going to do for his 3-3 patches?
That's a good question.
It's going to hear about our safest patches for now.
The Hydrologist will be 3-3 as well, of course.
Because of the buff.
Tons of buffs, aka only one. And there is the Hydrologist right on curve, as it's only his second turn. And would you go for the Noble Sacrifice here?
Yes. How do Paladins lose? They lose if they get behind on board.
I thought that they died when they had 0 HP or less.
No, that's the thing with mid-range decks. You just lose straight away if you get behind on board.
Ah, right.
HP doesn't even matter. Kappa. For people who are not very familiar with sarcasm, of course, you only lose if your HP runs out or you concede. But for a paladin, it's very important to be ahead on board.
Yeah, the Wicker Flame will stand for a little bit. Do you think, what would you do if you were Vortex right now?
That's a good question. I guess double trade? Yep.
Yep. But he's still thinking about it. Will he? No, he can't go some work. And it is the most logical way to trade, right?
Well, I would guess that Vortex is a slightly better player than I am.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's probably also why he is playing and I'm commentating.
No, they just wanted the biggest expert on the casting desk, and that is you
exactly.
today.
Like, I got guaranteed money. Vortex has to win.
Damn right. And now the Enchanted Raven will come out from the coin, and there is a trade. Vortex just wanting that bit more board.
But is he going to double trade? No. That's a real question. I think he is.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I called it.
You're so smart.
Double Murloc or Stonehill Defender with Noble Sack. Both are fine-ish. I think double Murloc is better, yeah, I agree. But it feels bad because you miss one buff. So now it's only a River, Croco, Liskin, Murloc. Okay.
That's a card.
So you're not sure if he had True Silver or not, because even if he had True Silver, it would have been bad to play.
Yeah, now Vortex just has a pretty decent board.
What would it be? He's of course looking for poisonous or +3 attack, but in both cases he'll have to give up his Murloc. I would probably rather see the Stonehill Defender here, to be honest, together with the Hero Power. Yeah, this doesn't do anything.
Would you then maybe stealth and
Yep.
hope for a War Leader?
Yeah, but it's still bad. No, you stealth it because you can Spike Steed it next turn. That's actually really
Yeah. That's why I totally meant, of course. And there we see the Noble Sacrifice and another Power of the Wild being picked up by Vortex, which will make his board even that bit much more strong and scary.
Wow, that's perfect English right there.
Thank you.
No problema.
I only speak Stone Cold English.
Yes, as you should. There's a Hero Power to the face, going to be hit by the Noble Sacrifice, but that's like best case situation for Vortex. He's probably going to trade his 4-2 into the 5-4 and go face with the other two minions. If he wants to win, he might go face with all his minions though, so that's kind of a hard decision that Vortex has to make here.
And now the time has come for Vortex to press and turn and let Arneej do the work.
No, he still has to trade.
Oh wait, he's still doubting.
Time waits for no one.
I thought he already played.
Nope, goes face. I like that, I guess, but he will get punished.
Ooh, Finja.
And it's not as good in this deck as it is in other decks because there are so many shitty Murlocs that he plays. But oh, look at the punish. It feels good, man. He should have traded.
Yep, and it came back to haunt him, but now the living mana being picked up.
Oh, that's also really good.
And that means Arneej is pretty much hoping he will top deck a Consecration next
Or
turn.
Primordial Drake, but not a True Silver. Fincha is not that bad either. Like, you can just play Fincha Hero Power. I have never discovered a Primordial Drake from a Stonehill Defender.
A Primordial. Oh wow. I have seen people in this tournament.
I just
Do
thought
so.
that, like, that would be really good to get here.
Yeah, but the yields are very small, right? Because
Yeah.
the chances are that you get one from your own class earlier than some neutral.
Exactly.
dude.
That's like, I'm not entirely sure on those figures, but
Well, no, he's eating air. Look out.
I think there's like 3 times more chance that you get a minion from your own class, and then there's like 20 tons or so that neutral tons that you can get. So the chance of you actually getting a Primordial Drake are really, really small.
And Arneej actually smirking a bit now, as he
Yeah,
has
that's
quite
good.
a beefy taunt anyway.
HP is not important.
Who needs HP, Lil?
Yeah. The only disadvantage here is that he can't hero power, and if he kills the 7-5, then there's a 2-6 with taunt after that. Vortex would have been really happy if he got a buff here. That would make his life great.
That would have been very good, but he already used 2. Of course, still has some. Oh, Consecrate. Yellow.
Arneej is
Goodbye.
such a good player. No, but there's no Primordial Drake in his deck, and I think this will be game. This is almost, or no, this is impossible
Yeah.
for Vortex to come back from.
Especially
And that
with
is the
that
game.
draw.
No Hungry Crabs to see for Vortex, and that one trade that he didn't make was very in the 5-4 was very devastating for him.
Yeah, and now what will Arneej pick next, and will Vortex actually stay with the Druid? What do you think? If you look at the matchups that will be coming.
So there's still Warrior and Druid left for Arneej, which is probably Pirate Warrior and Token Druid, which means that you will stay with the Druid, I guess. Yep, you can stay with.
And we
In
will
Vortex's
see.
case, I would have switched to Mage. Oh, he doesn't do either. Oh, feels bad, man.
Paladin versus Warrior, and Yar, I see patches.
That's good that you see it now, because then the chance that he has it in his hand if he doesn't want it is larger. Something like that.
And it's golden, so it's really good. Arneej's a fancy boy, has that bling bling in his hand, ready to rock it. But gets rid of all the cards, gets 2 South Sea captains, but a Nazov's first mate as well. So that's sort of... Oh wow, now he's actually on curve.
This is great for Arneej. And he has pirates, I'm happy.
Indeed. And he doesn't attack the first turn with his weapon, which we saw someone else do.
I like... Because you don't have a follow-up weapon. You will start attacking now, though. Even if you just hit 1-3 for 1. And then the other 2 go face, because then you only lose 1 minion to clear the 1-3. And yes, you do play the Bloodsail Raider here. That's true.
Don't you want most of those dudes to stay alive for the South Sea Captain buff? Or are you too much focused or intrigued by the chat?
Yes.
Like,
usually when I'm there's a very weird conversation about Shusi laying down on a bed of nails, which sounds really painful.
But apparently it isn't. And Arneej is actually doing what I just said, keeping your minions alive for the South Sea
That's
Captain.
what I said as well. Feels good.
Yeah, but I was also reading.
Wow, we're such bad. Okay.
No, we're just very good at multitasking.
So interesting tech in the deck of Arneej is a Spellbreaker. It's not that unusual, but I don't run it, for example. The South Sea Captain here is really good.
Strong analysis, and you can trade and keep board. But he seems to be thinking, or he's just playing.
It's not
Vortex's mind.
Yeah, he's definitely just
Like, oh my god, I have so many things to do.
Yeah, so many options. But yeah, he doesn't.
So many possibilities.
Exactly. What to do? What to do?
I'm almost out of time.
That's another one.
I do know some of my lines. Been practicing every time I was in ladder, and some guy wouldn't play any cards, which is quite annoying most of the time.
I still miss my sorry emote. I really want it back, to be honest.
You can't have everything, man.
Apparently
Especially not that. There goes board in favor of Arneej.
Okay,
And
so
a Consecrate is
do you
there.
coin Consecrate here, or do you coin Dinges? True Silver Champion, and then Consecrate next turn? But if you do, I guess you do that, but if you do that, then you will get Bedrogen. Because that's...
Betray.
Yeah, no, but that's like... it won't go as you think it will go. You won't have a very good Consecrate next turn.
You will get
don't
bamboozled.
do it here. Exactly.
And
Dan
there's
komt
the
hij
coin,
er wel uit.
and there's the...
True Silver, yeah, as expected. And then this turn, Arneej will play another South Sea Captain probably, even though it's off curve.
Yeah, but it's still a buff. And it does tons of damage. Like
South Sea Captain sort of heals, right? Because now if he plays it, then the Bloodsail Raider will be on 3 HP again, which means that it won't die from the Consecration.
I call cheats.
But then again, the Corcoran Elite is so good on curve, and then next turn you play South Sea plus War Ox and you're happy. Yeah, that's probably better, but this it doesn't really get punished. I like it.
There's a lot of damage already done by Arneej. Vortex on 15 HP. It's only the 4th turn. Consecrate now. Most likely coming out.
Yeah, but you still tank 2 damage effectively. Which means that, and you don't have an answer in hand anymore for that South Sea Captain. You're still 4 turns away from the Light Lord.
Yep,
Ooh.
and oh, there's the deckhand.
Do you place captain or deckhand here? That's actually really difficult. You don't set up lethal with either of those plays, right?
No, but you pressure lethal more with deckhand.
But it gets removed easily here as well.
That's true. But not directly, right? What can Vortex do to do that 1 damage instantly?
Okay, so
but of course,
Arneej is 1 damage off, and not anymore. No. Feels good, man. Oh, yeah. Arneej taking the win.
Wow, that's 2-0 already. This man's going places, and that is maybe to the Amsterdam Arena. That depends on how he plays the whole next 2 weeks.
It's not looking too good for them, for both guys.
They both need to win both weeks, and if they lose one more, their chances are pretty grim.
Okay, so only Druid left for Arneej, and well, Vortex is still on 0 points this match. Let's see who wins. I think the Druid is not in favored versus all Vortex's decks. Let me check this.
I let you check, and I see that they are going into the game. It will be the Mage of Vortex, the 3rd deck. And,
okay, so this one's in favored for the Token Druid, but not a lot in favored.
Alright.
And then the other deck of Vortex is, of course, the Paladin, which is slightly favored, and with slightly, I mean quite a lot favored. And then there's Pirate Warrior, which is also favored for Token Druid. So yeah, this is the only bad matchup for Arneej.
Alright, so then it's quite understandable that Vortex chooses this deck.
It is very understandable.
We'll see how he'll do. Will it be a win for Vortex finally, or will Arneej be the curve master?
Definitely the last part. But Vortex is curve master as well. Just look at his hand. Oh, such great curves.
Amazing.
Wow.
How do they do it, and how do I always fail?
Amazing. What do you play here? Like, you want to play Enchanted Raven?
Yeah, otherwise it gets straight out.
But do you coin Firefly? Because then you have next turn you have Direwolf Alpha for the one that survives.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, chances are they both survive. If Vortex doesn't have a spell to play. So I would indeed coin both.
Yeah, same.
Well, at least we have a consensus.
Yeah, but you get punished by Frostbolt. Quite heavily.
Yeah, but then he needs to grab Frostbolt, and that is...
Yeah, but we know that Vortex doesn't have Frostbolt in hand, but Arneej doesn't know. And the chance of having Frostbolt in the early game is pretty large, because you always keep it and you mulligan.
But then, wouldn't you Bloodsilk Corsair into Enchanted Raven with coin? Because then you have 3 minions, and then you can't get punished by Frostbolt.
Exactly, so that's what he's going to do. And I like it a lot.
And so do I, luckily. 1 damage to the face. Amazing. And we'll see if this is going to work out. Well, yeah, patches will be traded, and that lovely, lovely bird is there.
Oh, that's a great pickup as well. It's also slightly awkward because you kind of want to buff the 1-2, but then you don't get a card, and you want a card.
Yep.
No, this is difficult.
I'm confused what to do. Like, the alpha will pressure more and you can trade with the 2-2. With the Mark of Ishar, you actually get a draw and maybe get a free drop.
I guess since 2 of your beasts survive, there's a good chance that you can use the Mark of Yashar's next turn.
Yeah. That is true, and there comes a babbling book. There will be a ping on the 3-1, meaning the Direwolf Alpha will be the only one left alive. Living Mana being picked up, which you can't really use right now. With the Mark of Ishar.
It's very good that he actually gets these cards, like the Living Mana and the Hydra, because those are the threats that you need to win in the end. So next turn we'll probably see a Innervate Bittertide Hydra together with the Flame Elemental. And then if you dealt with the Bittertide Hydra, you can still play the Living Mana afterwards. He might even Fireball the 4/4 this turn.
Ooh, are you that scared?
No, what's the rest of your play?
That's true.
Like you could also play Mana Worm and then Arcane Intellect, but you just sack your Mana Worm like that. You don't want it. This is amazing. Feels amazing, man, for Arneej.
Yeah, the Mark of the Lotus is not really that strong, but still there's a Bittertide Hydra, which you can then Mark of Lotus, which he doesn't.
Mark of Lotus is actually really good in this situation, because just think of it. You have Living Mana, and then the turn after you can Mark of the Lotus.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because you have 1 mana. You'll probably... I see the play. Like Mana Worm, Frostbolty 8/8, ping the 1/1.
Yep, and the bad thing for Arneej is that for that Living Mana there is a Flame Strike on Vortex's side. Which, didn't he get it from the Babbling Book? Or was that something else?
What is this? It's
What
a mirror
is it?
entity. That means he's not afraid of anything.
And then, which you know, he's probably scared of Counterspell. And he doesn't want to throw
He's
in
going
his...
to Mark of the Lotus here. For sure.
It's still
And then
strong.
it's rewarded, because now you can take 2 value trades and push 10 damage. Oh, you can't. I was like, yeah, you can take 2 value trades, but you really can't, because the Raven, of course, can't attack just yet. Yeah, I have to wait another turn.
That is sad, but still
Good
trades.
And now, if you Frostbolt the Hydra and ping it, it's still on 5 HP, so Flame Strike doesn't kill it. There's no good way to deal with the Hydra.
Feels bad, man. And that's why Vortex does draw. Grabs Medivh's Valet and an Archaeologist.
Okay, so now you play Living Mana, because if he doesn't have the Flame Strike, then he just straight up dies. Never mind. This changes things. Wow, this hand's hard to play, even with only 2 cards. And then people say aggro is easy. But yeah.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't you now just play Living Mana because there's no secret and you're slightly scared of Counterspell and you don't really care about Flame Strike because then he used that one and you still get your mana back?
I guess so, yes. But I guess so. That's
because then he has a death turn and you still have your Bittertide Hydra alive. And you still have the Mark of Ishar to sort of heal and buff it. Or, like, if you attack now as well, then you're actually pressuring lethal because he has to clear with the Flame Strike. And then next turn you can Mark of Ishar and you have lethal.
So you Mark of Yeshur's now, and then you put him on 9. Because you 7 damage, which means that your opponent has to deal with the Hydra. If he doesn't, he's dead.
Yeah, but
just look at it. It's glorious.
Yeah, but like I can understand, but like my mind game part would have been play Living Mana.
Yeah, it would have done
turn.
the same, right?
Yeah, because then you're forcing him into the Flame Strike,
exactly.
And if he doesn't, he's already dead, pretty much.
So in both cases, he's pretty much already dead.
Yep, and now he is dead.
And this is the end for Vortex, which means that Arneej takes it 3-0. And the light is here. Wow.
Floor is the light bringer.
Yeah, exactly.
Blizzard, please. And we're back on schedule, which is quite amazing.
Well, that was a very quick match with very quick games. And that's 3-0 for Arneej. Which makes it very difficult for Vortex to still qualify for the 24th of June. Which is, of course, our playoff day.
Feels bad, man, for him, but there's still 2 other guys that have to play tonight, which are Emkel Nara versus Sectoral 1 Babblebox to see who will get that sub collision. Nara is on the 2nd position right now, and Babblebox is leading with 4-0, so maybe Nara can stop that, maybe not. We'll have a short break and then we'll be back with some more Hearthstone action.
Who's ready to see some competitive gaming in the Amsterdam Arena?
Welcome back to the grand final between Lowland Lions and Benko Gaming. It's ready for that push guys 2 as well. And this is ready with the pistol.
Als Grady in de background gets taken out by Epicus, but Kitty can he survive though? He really goes down.
Waiting for the light to change from red, thinking over all the things you said to me. You said to me, all your dreams are dying in the sun. Pretty soon there'll be nowhere left to run away, to run away. You packed your bags to leave by the morning. Destination not often foreign. It's never enough. It's never enough. Baby, won't you take me? Baby, won't you take me with you? With you. Baby, won't you take me? Baby, won't you take me with you? With you.